Thank you for joining us today. I'm Heather Wuelpern, the Director of Communications with Tucson Metro Chamber, and I'm here at the beautiful JW Marriott at Star Pass on another gorgeous day in Tucson, which is absolutely no surprise. And I'm excited to introduce my esteemed panel today. To my left is Brent DeRaad. He is the President and CEO of Visit Tucson. Hello.
Good morning.
Also, we have Danette Bewley. She is the President and CEO of the Tucson Airport Authority. Morning. And all the way across is Misty Shafiquallah. She is the owner-operator of Cruise Planners. And you might think, Cruise Planners in Tucson, Arizona? But she's going to be talking about a Costa Rica trip we have in store next March 2021. So let's go ahead and get started. Speaking of being at this gorgeous resort, I know that there are a lot of really amazing staycation deals going on right now. Talk to us about why it's so important for locals to be tourists in their own town.
Well, one of the things that we've seen through the years is that we get about 7 million overnight visitors coming into Tucson. And so we have people traveling not only from throughout the United States, but from throughout the world, coming to see the beautiful landscape in which we live, to enjoy the food, the culture. And I think sometimes those of us who live here, we might forget about that. And I think being able to get out and explore and stay in a hotel or resort, there's some great deals this summer. Patronize the restaurants, go out and see the attractions, really see what people from throughout the world come here to enjoy. And there's so much to see and do. We hope a lot of people will take advantage of staycations this summer.
Exactly. That UNESCO City of Gastronomy, that is such a top honor. And so when I hear some locals say that they haven't even been to some of these spectacular restaurants in town, I think, go, you need to go. And even some of the attractions, you know, let's have a raise of hands. Who has been to the Arizona Desert Museum in the last year? I mean, we all should really be our own patrons, so.
Without question, yeah, and some great opportunities this summer. The other thing too, again, just based on the pandemic, what we've seen is that the travel industry has been impacted probably as much, if not more than any other. And so U.S. Travel Association said recently 51% of people in the travel industry are jobless currently. So being able to go out, patronize the hotels, the restaurants, the attractions, all of that makes a big difference, and it puts Tucsonans back to work as well.
Exactly. Something else that I think is so important for the locals to keep in mind is to be great ambassadors when we do meet a visitor. I know you have the CTA program, the Certified Tourism Ambassadors. Tell us a little bit about that.
So the Certified Tourism Ambassador Program is a great opportunity for people in Tucson who either have a working knowledge or want to gain a stronger knowledge of what there is to see and do in the region. We actually offer a very short certification program. It takes about 2 to 3 hours, either online or in person. And it's just a great way to be able to better educate visitors and others about what there is to see and do in Tucson.
I'm a CTA.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome, of course. And Danette, speaking of people coming here and making a good impression, the airport really is almost the very first impression they get of Tucson. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, especially because of the pandemic, that will make people feel that when they travel, it is safe. And tell us about some of the measures you're taking.
Thank you. Well, first and foremost, we know that the COVID-19 crisis is it's really in our hearts and on the headlines all the time. What we've done at the Tucson Airport Authority is really look at the passenger journey from the moment you get either off an airplane and travel through the airport and then out into the community, or if you're coming from the community, parking in our lot and going out to the airport. So we've taken a look at that. We have sanitized the entire airport. We have installed social distancing signage on the floors. Our campaign is called TUS Cares.
I've heard about
TUS is our 3-letter identifier for the airport. And so as you're walking through the airport, you'll see different signs that encourage social distancing. Now, of course, because we're an airport, we use Spread Your Wings as our theme. And we also have signage that lists the CDC guidelines in case people need a reminder about face masks, which is now a requirement in the
And you
airport.
provide those when needed, is that correct?
We do. We received a shipment from FEMA just this week. So anybody that comes to the airport that may not have one, we have some available. The airlines also have some, and plus we'll provide some to the airlines as well from the FEMA shipment. We have invested in equipment that sprays the hospital grade sanitizer that helps to really clean and sterilize the touch points throughout the airport. We have put in sneeze guards at the transaction counters, the airline ticket counters, the gates, the rental car transaction counters. We have little signs in the restroom that encourage social distancing or wash your hands. So those are some of the things. It's good to
have those reminders. I mean, it's starting to become more and more ingrained in us since we're a few months in now, but it's still important to have the reminders. Even when I left the house this morning, I was like, oh, I need to grab my mask. So it's good to have those reminders. That's important.
We've also found some really innovative things that may not be commonplace in airports, like a UV sanitizer for the handrails of our escalators and moving walkways. So we'll be installing those in a few weeks. And also elevators. People don't want to touch the button. And you see people that use their elbows or their knee or their foot.
There are even special tools I've seen where you can open a door or press a button with a special tool.
Right. Well, we are installing toe kicks.
Great.
So you can use your feet. And at an airport, that's actually kind of smart because how many times do you wish you had a third or a fourth
Very
hand?
much
So those are some of the things that we're doing. We also have messaging through our public announcement process. So again, just tips and tricks along the way to help the journey go a little bit better for people. We want people to know that it is safe to come to the airport. It is clean, and we're here to help. You know, one of our points that we always make is we're here for safety, security, and customer service. Well, right now it's about safety and customer service.
For sure. And I think what's important too is to let people know that it is safe, so when they are comfortable, you'll be ready for them. So they'll have a great, comfortable experience. And I think what's also important is to let people know that that's the case, so they can start planning trips and they do have something to look forward to. We've all been within the walls of our homes lately, not even interacting with coworkers other than on a screen lately. So it's important to have something to look forward to make that trip, even if it's a little bit in the future, just so instead of just only talking about the pandemic that we're going through, you can also say, and I booked a trip to Costa Rica next March. So that's where you come in, Misty. Because you've partnered with us and Colette Tours to put together this incredible 9-day package that we're selling through you, through the Chamber. It's not just open to Chamber members, really to anyone who's interested. And it's a great price. Tell us more about what's included with that.
It's a great deal. The package includes your flights to and from Tucson. If there are others who want to join in on the trip that are not from Tucson, we can also price that itinerary as well. But what we've got planned is a trip from Tucson to tropical Costa Rica, where we will start the journey in San Jose, the capital. There will be a coffee plantation tour, and then we'll head out to the coast in the Guanacaste area, which is on the Pacific Ocean. There'll be 2 nights spent in that location, and then the tour continues on to the Monteverde Cloud Forest, and there'll be opportunity there to engage in activities such as
sloth watching.
Yes, watching sloths and some of the walks along the top of the canopy, seeing all the beautiful plants and birds that exist in that region. And then we continue on to Arenal, which is a volcano that is currently active. And there's a beautiful lake at the base, and there's a boat ride on that lake. We spend 2 nights in Arenal. We head up on a river cruise into the jungle and see all the sights there.
That sounds so great.
It's a wonderful trip. And then we head back to San Jose and come home. And for those who want to add on a little extension to the trip, there's an opportunity for a 4-day extension out to the Caribbean coast to a national park, the Tortuguero National Park.
Wow.
And so it really is a trip of a lifetime. It is on a lot of people's bucket list. And it's something that people can plan now for next March. We embark March 15th through the 23rd of 2021. And I think people feel comfort maybe knowing that they're going on a trip with others. There's kind of comfort in being with a group, whether you know anyone or whether you have your small family group or friend group within a larger group.
Sure.
We currently have 30 seats that we are holding on this tour. Doesn't matter how many people sign up, the tour is going.
Right.
Some of the anxiety that people have for traveling, the unknowns, where are we going to be with this pandemic, is those fears are assuaged by the opportunity to purchase the insurance that they offer, which means if something happens and the trip cancels, or if you even decide for whatever reason you are unable to go, if you purchase this insurance, then you are going to get your full refund. So that's also a reason that people can feel comfortable making these plans and
Right. Yeah,
moving
easy
forward.
cancellation policy.
Exactly.
I've been to Costa Rica before, and I can't wait to get back. It is so beautiful, and we just explored, and I even learned to surf. It's such a beautiful area. I felt safe. The food was great. The people were so friendly. the
Everyone's
warmest
very
smiles.
friendly. Everyone speaks English.
Oh,
There
yeah.
will be a tour guide on the trip with you. It's a local person, so they are very familiar with Costa Rica and the culture, and they're there just, to give you some assurance if something should
Exactly.
come up.
Exactly. Now, Brent, typically people from all over the world, probably even Costa Rica, come to Tucson. What kind of shifts have you noticed as far as where people are coming from when they book for future vacations here? Have you noticed a shift at all because of this?
We've noticed a big shift, and it was remarkable for us. So in February, we were at 82% occupancy, dropped down to 49% in March, which actually led the Western United States, and then we dropped down to 24% in April. We are seeing improvement in terms of business. More people are traveling. It really just comes back to consumer confidence right now.
Right.
And what we're seeing is people feel a little bit safer, closer to home, and so the staycation aspect has been strong. What we're doing right now, most of our marketing is throughout Tucson, in Phoenix, and then in Southern California.
That's smart.
And we're amazed to see how many Southern Californians are coming in. So much is closed in Southern California, so those residents are looking for things to do, and they've been great customers for us for a long time. But for us, the big thing is really partnering with the airport. We're seeing that a lot of flights are going to be coming back in July and August.
Right.
So for us, a lot of times we can take a look at the airport numbers, and that's going to be a direct indicator as to what our occupancy is, how many people are coming in. So anything that we can do to partner with the airport and with the airlines just to ensure that, again, we bring these flights back to Tucson International Airport. We need that to be able to really fully recover.
Right. And it's all truly interconnected, even with the Tucson Metro Chamber, with our workforce development. We want these visitors from California, where it's so expensive to live, to come here and visit and fall in love with how gorgeous it is and how friendly the people are and the awesome vibe and how it's a little bit more affordable. So then if they come here, they may bring their business here. They may look for work here. And so it's all so interconnected. And that's why I always really love doing any sort of partnerships with both of you. And it's just such a good synergy between us all. So, and I know with the airport, because of the huge dip that you've had, you do have some funding that you've received from the FAA CARES Act. Tell us about what that's about, how much you received, if that's okay, and just how you're using that money.
Oh, of course. As Brent said, getting hit with the impacts of this virus that just traveled the world and became this pandemic, it just decimated everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even sure what new normal is. We're
don't know yet.
still just evolving with this. And it really decimated the travel industry just within a couple of weeks. We were having one of the strongest few years that we've ever had, really climbing out of the Great Recession, feeling really positive and really great, forecasting big plans, and then boom.
Yeah.
And I was telling people that it's different than 9/11 because we knew what happened and we knew what recovery would look like.
Right.
This is so different.
Right.
And we knew that this is going to take a couple of years for us to really get back to whatever normal is. So with that said, our legislators asked airports across the nation, you know, what do you need from us? And as part of the development of the CARES Act, which included so many different sectors of the economy, you know, airports and airlines just being one or two sectors.
Right.
Airports were allotted $10 billion, and our portion at Tucson International and Ryan Airfield is $22.6 million. And the FAA has really opened up the restrictions on that to be, if you use it for your payroll or your operating costs, you know, that's
So they're being
wonderful.
flexible.
So much flexibility. There are some strings attached, as you can
Sure.
imagine, with grant funds, and we're very much accustomed to that because we're very grant funded, you know, in
Sure.
everything we do with our projects and programs. So we're using that money for our day-to-day operating expenses. Running an airport is like running a household. You know, we have the same bills, the electrical,
Right.
the water,
Cleaning. Yeah, exactly.
and now cleaning
Exactly.
at a heightened level.
Sure.
And our staffing, we have a lean staff, but we have a staff
Right.
of about 250 people.
Okay,
So,
that's a good crew.
It's a good crew. You know, Tucson International Airport's a 24/7, 365-day operation. And although COVID has presented different challenges, our requirements have not changed as to how we manage the facility. We still have federal regulations that we have to adhere to.
That probably gets
between
tricky.
FAA and TSA that don't go away because of a pesky pandemic. And so, you know, we're very conscientious of that. Now, on the other side, the airlines were allotted $58 billion.
Okay.
$50 billion went to the commercial air carriers, $8 billion went to the air cargo operators.
Okay.
They have a different program and, you know, different strings attached, but we're so interconnected. You know, what the airlines are doing really affects what we do. And so we need to understand what their routes are going to look like in and out of Tucson. We went from a very strong economy, like I told you,
Right.
and just within a few weeks, we went from a great operation, wonderful flights, adding nonstop service all the time, and losing about 96% of our traffic.
So how long has the Tucson International Airport been around? Tell me a little bit more about the history.
It was founded in 1948 by a number of very forward-thinking community members. And it was the first airport authority ever formed. And it is a wonderful model because the focus is airport. And it's enacted through a charter through state legislature. So we are an independent authority. And, you know, our role is to really manage and maintain this wonderful regional asset of Tucson International Airport and Ryan Airfield. And so that's what we're charged with. And as I mentioned earlier, you know, our goals are safety, security, and customer service. And everything we do has those three elements in mind. And of course, you add on other things on top of that, on how do we improve the aesthetics? How do we improve the economy? What does our economic development partnerships look like with the community? How do we market Tucson, you know, with Visit Tucson? How do we integrate with other businesses in the region to really, really shine? Those are all things that we do, and now more so than ever, because now we've got to crawl out of this hole together. And we will. We will.
Cheers to that, because we will. I mean, everything is cyclical, no matter how high the highs are and how low the lows are. You just have to keep riding the wave and innovate and continue to find new ways of doing business. But the fact of the matter is, Tucson is this amazing place, and this isn't going anywhere.
Right.
So once people feel a little bit more comfortable, they will surely start coming back again, developing new ways of doing commerce in Tucson. So I'm not really worried long term, because we just know we need to ride the wave, right?
Well, I think there's some pent-up demand. People really do like to travel. They like to just be free. And,
Definitely.
as one of the airlines' motto is, feel free to travel about the country. And being restricted, to your home for 4, 5, 6 weeks, that gets old really quickly. So people are looking for an outlet. And
Definitely.
Tucson is so wonderful, and it's a perfect outlet.
Right. It's an interesting outlet that Misty's organization is involved with, is these virtual tours you can go on. Actually, I signed up for the Botswana one.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting new way of traveling until we feel comfortable to travel more, is do a little virtual
Learn
tour.
about some other parts of the world and start thinking about where you might want to plan your next trip.
Exactly.
So people are getting innovative, and how can we still pique people's interest in these other places to go, and keep them excited about traveling when it does open up. So.
Exactly. It's been tough I'm someone with such wanderlust in my veins. And so I actually did go to Silver City for a road trip, and we're about to go to Colorado for a road trip, because I need to get out a little bit. But, and just definitely even going on evening drives in a convertible through the West Side Hills, just driving around, even that, it just is wonderful to get that little exploration going. So more people should do that. Get out of their homes a little bit.
One of the things that I did, which was really fun, is I set out now several times on a treasure hunt of all the murals that are in Tucson.
That's a great idea.
It was so much fun. I have over 100 photos, and I had a few maps that I followed that were online, but then some that I knew of that were not on any of those tours, and then some we just ran across driving around town. So there's so many fun things to do in Tucson if you just let your imagination go. And while you're out there looking, you're going to definitely stumble upon some others. So I'd say get out, and you'll be surprised what's in your own backyard here.
Exactly. Well, this is really what I wanted to talk about today, to just give people some hope, encourage them for the future to make some plans, whether it's in town or in an exotic location. All of it works. And don't be afraid to fly, that you're doing everything you can to make it a safe environment. And so
the message that we're saying is that we're ready to have people come fly. And it is a consumer confidence issue, but when they're ready to come, we're going to be here for you. If it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, we're here for you. The airport isn't going anywhere. We're strong, and we're going to recover. We're going to be stronger than ever. We have great partnerships, and it's just a regional asset that I really encourage people to use. And when you choose to fly, fly from TUS.
ding, ding.
Agreed.
Any closing thoughts from Visit Tucson?
Well, Heather, thank you. We really appreciate the opportunity, and thank you to the Tucson Metro Chamber as well for the strong partnership.
You're welcome.
One of the things that we've looked at through the years is just we're out there with most of our marketing being external, so we're talking to people in other states for the most part. But what we've really tried to do is help build a stronger community in recent years, and for us, partnering with the Chamber has been a great opportunity to be able to do that. So thank you.
Great.
We appreciate it.
You're so welcome. All right, everyone, get out there, make some memories so you have some stories to tell. Thank you for joining us.